Yo, what is up, everybody? Watt007 here, and welcome back to a brand new Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video. In today's Duel Links video, I'm going to be showcasing to you guys what's the best card to get with your SR Dream Ticket. This is going to be my no BS guide on what's the best card to get with it. So without further ado, let's do this. Now, I say this in every single one of my Dream Ticket videos that I made on my channel, but straight up, if you do not know what you want to spend your Dream Ticket on, your SR Dream Ticket here, if you do not know what you want to spend it on, just save it. As you can see with the Arc-V Dream Tickets right here, they do not expire until May 16th of 2022. So that means if you expect yourself to be playing this game until May 16th of 2022, if you expect that and you don't know what card to get, just save it. You never know when there's going to be a new meta deck or a deck that you're building where you're going to need one of these tickets to complete your deck. And what's really awesome about the Dream Tickets is the fact that you can get cards from boxes. So instead of spending money or gems to get that card, you could just use your Dream Ticket right there. So yeah, if you don't know what you want to spend it on, just save it. But if you only expect yourself to be playing this game for like a month, then I would recommend spending it because you're just going to forget about it and then it'll be a waste. But if you expect yourself to be playing this game until May 16th, save it if you don't know what you want to get. Another thing too, when it comes to choosing a card with your SR Dream Ticket, is that there is a ton of options here. And to help you filter out a lot of options to deciding which card is the best with your SR Dream Ticket, click the drop down arrow here and sort by boxes. And what that's going to allow you to show here is that Konami's going to filter this out to where it only shows cards that are attainable through boxes, main boxes, mini boxes, and structure decks. So you won't accidentally spend your Dream Ticket on a card that you would normally be able to get from an event or with any of the other tickets in the game. That's what makes Dream Tickets so special, is that you could actually get a card from a box instead of the other tickets that we normally get in the game. And then last little tidbit too, try your best to not spend your SR Dream Ticket on stuff like structure deck cards. Structure deck cards right here, while stuff like Gaia the Magical Knight's really good, you probably wouldn't want to waste your Dream Ticket on if you're willing to spend a little bit of extra money to buy a structure deck, because structure decks are guaranteed when you buy them. So if you have a couple dollars lying around that you'd be willing to spend towards getting some extra copies of these cards, you don't have any risk because you know that you're getting those cards. So you might want to stay away from those structure deck cards. But if you're a free-to-play player, I got a couple options for you where you might want to use your SR Dream Ticket on some of the structure deck cards in the game, because if you're free-to-play only, you're not planning to spend any money. But if you are, I would recommend holding off your Dream Ticket on that and just buy the structure decks. It's usually only a couple bucks, especially if they're on sale. Now, when it comes to picking a card that's going to be best from this SR Dream Ticket, if you're more of a newer player in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, try to aim for a card that would be able to get used in a multitude of decks. And I'm going to be honest right here, Konami kind of sorted this list out for me easy peasy right here, because probably some of the two best cards to get with your SR Dream Ticket is either going to be Treacherous Trap Hole or Karma Cut. So shout out to Konami for sorting that out for me right here. But I'm going to say probably Treacherous Trap Hole, if you're like a brand new player in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, is going to be a really solid card to put into your deck, because of the fact that this card states if you have no trap cards in your graveyard, you can target 2 monsters on the field and destroy those targets. Easily one of the most powerful cards in the game, for the fact that you can use just this one card to pop 2 cards right here. And again, you can throw this in just about any single deck as long as it's not a trap heavy deck, and you can get a lot of success from that. Now, if the deck that you are playing is a trap heavy deck and whatnot, then you might want to stay away from Treacherous Trap Hole, but still, this card would work in a ton of decks. And if you're new to the game, this would be a really good card to start you off with, because it, again, pops 2 cards from this card alone. Another card that's really good, I don't know how long this is going to last, because at the time they're recording this video, Karma Cut is still a really good card. I'm just afraid that as the Pendulum era keeps going in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, that this card might not see as much play as it did in this previous year. But Karma Cut's still a really solid card, where you get to discard 1 card, target a face-up monster opponent controls, and banish that target, then banish all cards with the same name as a monster from your opponent's graveyard. Another fantastic card that can be used in almost any single deck. Again, decks that have graveyard advantage would prefer this card, so again, it might not work super well in your deck, but it's still a card that can be used in a multitude of decks and whatnot right here. But again, as the Pendulum era keeps going, this card I think will still see a little bit of play, but for the fact that you're able to spam out a bunch of monsters will make Karma Cut a little harder to play, in my opinion right here. But still a really good card. And again, these 2 cards easily are cards that are really good at this time that I'm recording this video. And on top of that too, you can put it in a multitude of decks, which is what you're going to be aiming for if you are new to Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Moving on to spell cards though, there's a little bit more options when it comes to good spell cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, so you might want to consider adding into your decks right here. Starting off for cards that would work in a multitude of decks, Lightning Vortex is kind of cool. I would try to stay away from this card, but I'm still going to recommend it because you do get a lot of advantage if you do pop this card off, where you discard a card and destroy all face-up monsters opponent controls. If your opponent has 3 monsters, you can nuke them all, which is really nice. And again, as pendulum summoning might get better, this card might see more play later on, because you can just nuke all the pendulums, and while your opponent can special summon one of those pendulum monsters from their extra deck onto the field, they can't do all 3 of them thanks to the rules that we have for pendulum summoning right here. So maybe wait before getting Lightning Vortex, but still, if you are a new player to the game, it's still a nice card because you get to nuke the field and whatnot. But again, if you are going to aim for a card like this, I'd still say probably Treacherous Trap Hole, because you can use Treacherous Trap Hole during your opponent's turn. But still, Lightning Vortex, pretty cool card. Another cool card too that is really good is Forbidden Chalice, a quick play spell card that states target one face-up monster in the field until the end of the turn. That target gains 400 attack, but its effects are negated. Forbidden Chalice is also a pretty solid card to get with your SR Dream Ticket, because if you play this card right, you can use it in a multitude of situations. Since it is a quick play spell card, you can use it during your opponent's turn and your turn. In certain situations, you're going to want to use this on your opponent's turn to negate your opponent's monsters from triggering their abilities, so you can stop your opponent's combos. Or in certain situations, you need to boost your monster by 400 attack points to get over opponent's monster. Well, you can do that too with Forbidden Chalice. So there's a couple cool things that you can use if you use this card right. So that's another good card I would recommend that can be used in a multitude of decks. And yeah, that's going to be kind of it for the cards that I would strongly recommend to use, that you can use in just about any single deck with your SR Dream Ticket. What's really interesting about the SR Dream Ticket is the fact that it's actually a really good ticket to just boost up a deck that you're currently working on. And since we're in the spell section, I'm going to list a couple cards that are going to be good in certain decks. Aforementioned Tenki is a really good card because when you activate this card, you can add a level 4 or lower Beast Warrior type monster from your deck to your hand. And right now, with the Pendulum cards that we currently have in the game, you can actually use this to search for one of the Pendulum cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links real quick. This level 4 Beast Warrior vanilla monster. And this is, so again, Tenki is a really good card for searching for that. And at this current moment, searching for Pendulum, searching for scales is really crucial to making Pendulums work. So this card's actually pretty good. And on top of that too, it just works well in any Beast Warrior deck. So if you're trying to build a Pendulum deck or you're trying to build a Beast Warrior deck, Tenki is pretty good right now. Next up, we're going to take a look at First Movement Solo, a great card for this archetype that I cannot read. Melodus, I can't read, but this card's really good for Yuzu's archetype. So if you need to get 3 copies of this card, maybe use your SR Dream Ticket to finish your Yuzu decks. This is one of the core cards you're going to want in that deck to make it consistent. Neos Fusion, if you are a free-to-play player and you haven't got 2 copies of this, is pretty good right here, because Neos Fusion is a really good engine because of the fact that you can use this card to summon a Elemental Hero Brave Neos, and you can pitch Elemental Hero Neos to your graveyard and a level 4 or lower monster. So there's a ton of options that you can send to your graveyard to go for some cool combos right there. Another card that's been seeing a little bit of experimentation is Painful Decision, a little bit better searcher for some of these normal Pendulum cards. And as time goes on, if we get more level 4 or lower normal monster Pendulum cards, Painful Decision is going to be a fantastic card to utilize to search for those pen scales. Because again, in the new Pendulum Genesis box that we got in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, we got a bunch of Pendulum cards in the game. A lot of them are normal monsters, but they have Pendulum effects, and Painful Decision can still search for them because they are still treated as normal monsters. So you can use Painful Decision to first search for that. So that's why I'm going to shout it out, because this is a pretty decent card to get 3 copies of, considering the fact that, hey, it can be used with your SR Dream Ticket right here. Okay, so that's going to do it for the spell card section of this video. Now we're going to move on to the extra deck right here, because honestly, there's actually a lot of extra deck cards that you could use your Dream Ticket on that would work in a multitude of decks, thanks to the fact that we have Xyz summoning in Duel Links. So there is a ton of Xyz monsters in Duel Links that are really good, and thanks to the fact that there's a lot of generic Xyz monsters that are available with the SR Dream Ticket right here, if you really need a card to burn your SR Dream Ticket on, some of these extra deck cards would be fantastic decisions, like right here, Photon Strike Bouncer, number 70, Maleficent Sin, cannot read right now, and Steel Swarm Roach are fantastic cards that are super generic and could be thrown in a multitude of decks. Like if your deck can get 2 level 4 monsters on the field, well, getting these 2 guys right here would be pretty good with your SR Dream Ticket. Because Roach right here, during either player's turn, and when a monster, a level 5 or higher monster would be special summoned, you can detach the material, negate the special summon, and destroy it. We got Sin right here. Once per turn, you can detach Xyz material from this card, target a monster opponent controls, banish it until your opponent's next standby phase. Photon Strike Bouncer. Once per turn, during either player's turn, and when a monster effect is activated on your opponent's side of the field, you can detach the material, negate the effect, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Fantastic cards right here, and they're literally all in a row right here. So if you need to burn your SR Dream Ticket, these would be fantastic candidates to burn your SR Dream Ticket on. Diamond Dire Wolf, 2 level 4 monsters. Pop this card and pop another card on the field. Really good card right there. Black Ship of Corn. Detach exceeds materials of this card. Target a face-up monster opponent controls will attack less than or equal to this card. Send it to the graveyard. Like, there are just so many good Xyz monsters right here. There's also a couple there, like, decent synchro monsters here and there too. Like, you know, every White Dolphin and whatnot. But again, like, these synchro monsters I'm specifying only work in synchro summon decks. So, you know, I wouldn't like strongly recommend them. But they're still decent cards nonetheless. But yeah, no, there's like a ton of really good cards that you can get from the extra deck alone, which is really surprising, but pretty cool. And then last but not least, moving on to the monster cards. There's honestly not really any like generic SR like monster cards that you need in every single deck, but there is a ton of SR monsters that are available in Duel Links right now that are really, really strong. For example, the Harpies right here. Like, if you don't have 3 copies of Harpy Channeler and you are playing Harpies, or you have like almost all the cards for Harpies, you might want to get a 3rd copy of Channeler if you don't have it already. You know, one of the core cards in the archetype. If you are playing like Yusei's Junk Synchron deck or whatnot, the Shooting Star Road Stardust Nexus structure deck, and you don't got 3 copies of Junk Converter because you don't want to buy multiple copies of the structure deck, getting a second Junk Converter wouldn't be a bad idea. If you're playing Fire Kings, getting a couple copies of Fire King Avatar Arata would be pretty decent. If you're playing Trimids and somehow don't have your boy Trimid Sphinx, well, you can get your 1 copy of it with the SR Dream ticket because this guy's a really good boss monster. I'm just going to shout out real quick Lunalight Yellow Martin because maybe sometime down the road we'll get some Lunalight support if they ever add Serena into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. So maybe this would be a good card later on. Who knows? If you're playing Blue Eyes, Sage with Eyes of Blue is a fantastic card because you can use this to search for your White Stone Ancients and use this card to summon Blue Eyes White Dragon. Songstress right here, fantastic card if you're playing a Yuzu deck. This card is really core because you can use this card to target a Miletus monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand, and also use this card to fusion summon. So really good card right there. And again, I cannot read. We got some of the super heavy samurai cards that you can get. So if you need you know, copies of these 2 cards right here for your super samurai deck, if you're playing Gong, there you go. If spellbooks do become meta later on, getting 3 copies of Blue Boy right here, Spellbook Magician of Prophecy, would definitely be really good to get. Jerry Beans, man, fantastic card to get, honestly. Really good normal play monster at level 3 Earth with 1,750 attack points. Really good card to get. I would definitely recommend. And other than that, that's pretty much it for all the best cards to go with your SR Dream ticket. Let me know in the comment section down below if I did miss out on any cards you guys think would be really good with your SR Dream ticket, because honestly, there's a ton of more options with this ticket compared to the UR Dream ticket. Hope you guys did enjoy. If this video did help you guys out, leave a like on the video down below. Sub to the channel if you guys are new. Other than that, it's going to do it for me. And yeah, hope you guys got a good card with your SR Dream ticket thanks to this guide. See you guys in the next video. Adios.